We are going to study Alice Lakwena. Lakwena was not her real name. Lakwena in Luo speaking tribes, Lakwena means Holy Spirit. If you are a Luhya, Lakwena is Musambwa. If you are from DRC Congo, Lakwena is Molimo Santu. She was born Alice Auma. She got married just like any girl. She got married and the marriage failed because they had no kids. In Africa society, if there is no kid in a marriage, the woman is considered to be barren. Then she got married a second time. She again got dropped the second marriage because there were no kids. She was considered for the second time to be barren. She went back to Soroti, her home area. When she went to Soroti, she started selling fish near the railway station. She was born into Anglican Church, but after her second divorce or separation, she joined Catholic. This is important because when she started her Holy Spirit movement, there's a lot of Catholic acts that were copied. Now, she joined Catholic after her second separation or divorce. While she was there's a time she disappeared, allegedly for 40 days. Allegedly because in Christianity, they hold a lot of symbolism in some numbers. E.g., there is 7, there is 13, which is considered to be unlucky, and there is 40. We will not talk about 40 for long, but you remember that Israelites took 40 years during the Exodus. You'll also remember that Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights before he was tempted by the devil. So Alice Lakwena allegedly disappeared for 40 days and 40 nights. According to herself, she went and talked to various animals. Allegedly, there is an Italian who died in the First World War, and his body was thrown into River Nile, and his spirit is the one. You see, she entered Catholic, isn't it? And now she was an Italian fighter in the Second World War. Allegedly, his body was thrown into the River Nile, and his spirit entered her for the 40 days and 40 nights. Allegedly, she talked to the waters. Allegedly, she talked to the rocks that are inside the river. Allegedly, she talked to some animals, including hippos, including buffaloes, including crocodiles and others. And after talking to them, she was given a mandate to go back and treat people. That was during the time of Obote and Tito Okello Lutwa. So when she came back, she used to apply some butter on sick people. And you know, the biggest component, more than medicine, in any sick person are two things. One, eating, and two, trusting in the person treating you. If you may be given grass, boiled grass, so long as you eat and you trust the person treating you, you'll get healed. So she used to treat them, and she started the Holy Spirit movement. Coincidentally, that is the time when Yoweri Museveni overthrew Tito Okello. That time, the allegedly Italian Holy Spirit entered her and said there was no need of her treating people when the real problem was the NRA, the Museveni army. By then it used to be called National Resistance Army. Today it is called UPDF, Uganda People's Defense Forces. I say she was told by the Holy Spirit of the Italian that the problem was that. So I want you to look at two ways. I want you to look at two ways. Just like anybody, I have interacted with Legio Maria, I have interacted with Dini Msambwa, and even politically, to some extent, you can see that one in Agwambo. There are those people who just believe anything coming out of the leader. But that is why she used to apply, she would give her followers stones covered in butter. She would also apply butter all over the body and say that with the holy oil and the holy stones, if they throw the stones at Askaris, they would turn into grenades. Now this is what used to happen on one way, because there are two ways. There is the covert and there is the overt. Now that is the overt. These people, with the Holy Spirit, now convinced that bullets cannot kill them, for the people who used to apply the oil on them had to fulfill certain conditions. Boys, there are young boys who used to apply. These were boys who were pre-gender intercourse period. Now once a boy enters into gender intercourse, he's not allowed to apply that. But the pre-gender intercourse period. And then there was those old women who have bypassed that. So these people would be applied that and they would go. Imagine an army post with 50 people. Over 2,000 people come, singing Hail Mary, singing Catholic, and that is why I said her entry into Catholic was, and also the fact that the Italian ghost entered her. You see a lot of Catholicism there. So they would attack, singing. These people would mow down a lot of them, but these people would still come singing. For anybody who has attended, me have attended Kiganjo and GSU training school. You get a lot of courage if you face somebody who is shooting back. But you see people are coming, you are shooting and they are falling down like domino effect. You get scared. And you know, you can never tell what such a person can react. Because immediately you decide to run away. There are times even you run away without even running away with your gun. Although it is said that your gun should be with you all the time, but that shock could make you run away to an extent that you would forget your gun. So these guns would be collected and burned. Now you see, she would say they would attack 2,000 people and they would come back 1,500. 500 people have been mourning one day by machine guns. But she would tell her followers, and I said, there is nothing as bad as a fanatical follower. Agwamba said, and so be it. So when she said, she would tell the people that, you see, either these people who are killed, either the boys who applied oil on them had cheated that they were pre-gender intercourse period, or they would say that even these people themselves did not have. There's a way you attend an Agwambo meeting, you'll understand. So that is how it used to happen. But among those guns, not all of them were being banned. Remember, Tito Okello, Lutua, and Milton Obote were the same tribe with Alice Lakwena. So when NRA and Museveni entered Kampala in November 1987, the Askaris who were running away were from this tribe. So she had a very good backup in those Askaris. She did that, and she gave Museveni a hard time. Now, if you Google about Alice Lakwena, I don't agree with what is written in the Google. I even watched a Monitor TV, the Ugandan TV, talking about Alice Lakwena. Most likely, because I dealt with Alice Lakwena, most likely this is what happened. Alice Lakwena used to be, just like Museveni used to sponsor FERA, February 18 Revolutionary Army, and Kinawafula Buke and so on. Moi himself also trained, Moi also himself used to arm and train several anti-Museveni groups. This included Alice Lakwena. So she came to a place called somewhere near Soroti. I do not know Uganda very well because I've never been out of Kenya, but through the intelligence reports I used to read, a word had been sent that they were to meet, Lakwena was to meet Daniel Arap Moi in Busia, Kenya. So Museveni's intelligence somehow picked that. And when they picked that, at the same time when Moi was in Busia, Museveni suddenly appeared. And Museveni suddenly appeared. And so the Kenyan government smuggled Alice Lakwena with her 5 commanders all the way to Kapenguria, to Kacheliba, up to a place called Nakuyen, and told her to go back into Uganda. You see, she was cut off from her people. And again, she was supposed to walk from Moroto in Uganda all the way to Soroti. So she felt that maybe Moi had colluded with Museveni, so that somewhere there, so she refused. She was dropped there and told, you should go back. That is why it explains how comes that the last place she was seen was in Soroti, and then suddenly she's seen in Kacheliba in West Pokot. So she was dropped there, and she assured those people that, come back next time, you'll find me here. So they went away, and after 2 weeks they found them there, and 2 weeks they had not eaten, 2 weeks they had not taken water. But I tend to believe this Lakwena thing. They were as fit as somebody who had stayed for 14 hours without eating. They were arrested, brought to Kapenguria. And they were brought to Kapenguria. They were jailed for being in Kenya illegally. If you want particulars of what happened during her jail time and what happened in Kapenguria, because I'm avoiding commenting on issues that are in my autobiography. But she was brought to Kapenguria, where she was charged with being in Kenya illegally, and she was jailed. And that night an helicopter came and she was taken to Thika. Thika, she stayed in Thika and Dadaab, and she died around 2007 if I'm not wrong. And that for you is Alice Auma, better known as Alice Lakwena.